Ryan Serhant isn't just famous. He turned attention into a brand that prints money and leads. So if you are an ambitious real estate agent looking to take yourself to the next level, here's the system so you can do the same. All right, so it is time to jump into build your brand like Ryan Serhant. And yeah, here we have the guy. And I think it's like very important first and foremost to kind of like, just see things through the reason why you are watching this video right now. And the biggest thing that people are lacking when you haven't built your like personal brand online in a great way. And if you look at Ryan Serhant, he's absolutely crushing that game of having an online presence, which is very beneficial for him and his business. And first off, like if we live in 2025, and if you don't have a strong online presence on social media, like you are invincible and you're leaving so many warm leads on the table. So I think that is probably one of the reasons why someone might have clicked on this one. They want to build a personal brand. They feel that they are lacking a lot of leads and leaving that on the table. So that is one of the reasons why you should probably want to click on this one and watch this video. Also that there's so many people out there, I've been there myself, where you are in a place where you kind of like you chase instead of being chosen, and you work so hard, you kind of like think that more hours leads to you getting better results, but in the end of the day, like you have to start playing the game in the right way. And just look at Ryan Serhant. He really understands the game, and he's playing it very well. If you look at everything he does when it comes to building his own personal brand, absolutely crushing online presence and doing really great things. And also the problem is that we live in a world right now where 2025, soon to jump into 2026, being top of mind is really the way you win this game. And what do I mean by winning this game is getting the warm leads you think you deserve, and the warm leads that every real estate agent want to have, which leads to you selling more apartments, charging more money, etc. So like that's really the way. And you can use other ways of being top of mind than just using social media, but from everything I'm seeing, and if you look at what Ryan Serhant is doing, he is absolutely going all in on social media and getting that that way to get leads and more things like that. So that is one of the biggest keys why you're probably here as well, is because you maybe not top of mind in the market you want to be that in. And one important thing to understand as well that Ryan Serhant really have mastered is like you want to have the right eyeballs. So you getting 1 million views when you slap an old lady in the face, that is really the not the way to go about it, because that views will be let's say you work in Germany as a real estate agent, or you maybe work in Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Italy, whatever it might be, right? And you get like 1 million views from someone in the UK, like that will not be beneficial for you if your primary goal is to get more warm leads from potential seller of yours in your market. So that is something that is very important as well, because I have seen a lot of people and been talking with a lot of people and helping other people building their personal brands, and I see that they have kind of like a big online presence already on maybe Instagram, TikTok, different kind of social media platforms, but the problem is that they don't have the right eyeballs. So the first question is like, how many leads are you getting from social media? And it's very slim. And so that's the most important one as well, because it doesn't matter if you have 10,000 followers on Instagram and 99% of them is not your potential clients, then obviously you're not going to get more leads. So that is very important to know as well, that in order for you to get yourself where you want to be, you have to get the right eyeballs, because if you have the wrong ones, that will not lead to you getting success. And a lot of you guys, of course, are watching this right now because you perhaps don't have a strong personal brand on social media. I think that is a lot of people that have clicked on this one because of that fact alone. And that's why we're going to change that today and take the absolute golden nuggets from Ryan Serhant and, make sure that you can apply the principles he has, and using social media to basically get more warm leads, you getting yourself exactly where you wanted to go, and this being the bridge from where you are today and where you want to go. So first off, if you look at things, social media as this business tool and leverage, that is the way Ryan Serhant sees it, and he knows that there are few things in this world where you can reach so many people, and he sees as this leverage which is his, because if you spend like 30 minutes creating a YouTube video and you can reach like 50,000 people that might be your potential clients, that is very, very powerful. And if you look at everything that he has done when it comes to him, first off, really taking his career off when he joined $1 million listing in New York, then fast forward many years, he has today his own kind of like TV series on Netflix, owning Manhattan. So like he's very, very, very smart. He understands social media and media in general as this huge leverage, and he want to be he just want to crush every single gain of them, and social media is one of them. Then you have TV series, you have news on the TV, you have a lot of different kind of medias as well, except social media, or rather say than social media. So that is very important to understand. Like you have to use it as a leverage. And one thing that he does very, very, very well is that he uses different kind of platforms. And of course, when you are at his level where he is today, he has a whole team, he has his own company, he has so huge resources to get himself where he want to go. And if you're watching this right now, the likelihood of you having your own firm and the likelihood of you having a whole team helping you building your media presence and social media presence, that is kind of a low likelihood. And but we really still have to understand what are he doing and how can we apply the same principles to our real estate agent career. And as I mentioned before, like the best thing that he does is that he uses different kind of platforms. And so I've studied him and his brand for years. And one thing that he has said is that he used different platforms. So first off, I remember him saying this in a very crystal clear way, and this will make it easier for you to understand as well. Pick his brain, and that is first off, he joins TV news, every now and then, CNBC News, the big economic channels when it comes to the US, and he does that because he wants the husband to see him. So he explained this in a very, very good way, where he imagined a family having a conversation at the dinner table, and they were talking about moving and having to sell and where they want to live and what they want to buy. But the thing that comes up in the conversation as well is like, all right, but what agent should we pick? And then his goal is that, well, the father probably have watched CNBC News and those kind of medias that he is targeting to be included in and attend. So that was, that leads to Ryan Serhant being top of mind when it comes to the husband. So the husband might say, well, Ryan Serhant, or they think of that. And then, when it comes to the kids, perhaps they're watching TikTok and different kind of similar, short form platforms. So that's why, the kids will probably say, well, Ryan Serhant is the best. And then remember as well that he said, well, the wife in the family, she probably follows him on Instagram or YouTube and seeing him on different podcasts and stuff like that. So that's really the way, he thinks about it, and it's a very smart way, because basically what he does is that he reverse engineer everything. So he looks at, potential client of his in his local market and in the way he operates. And then he just thinks back like, well, okay, these are the clients I want to target. Where are they spending their time? So what kind of media are they, consuming on a daily basis and a weekly basis, which I, as a real estate agent, can attend. So that's really a golden nugget that you can apply as well. Like if you think, okay, well, I'm in this local market, where does my potential clients spend their time when it comes to media? So TV shows, podcasts, YouTube, you name it. So that is a very important thing to be understanding, and that's the way he had done it. He has thought that for himself with his team and reverse engineered it. So he makes sure that he is top of mind. So that is really the most powerful game he's playing, and he's doing that on a huge level. He's putting out a lot of content, and he's really crushing the game when it comes to his local market and building his own firm as well. But that is really what is happening, because let's say you have a couple, which depending on which market you are in is maybe more likely or less, depend you know the answer. Then you can reverse engineer this, the same as well. So if you manage to do that over a very, very long period of time, that becomes this insanely powerful top of mind effect. And if you just look at it like, how many years have he been in the game? I think it's 10 plus years. I cannot even remember the first episode where he attended $1 Million Listing in New York. So he has been in the game for a long period of time. So that is something I really want you to understand as well. Like all of this that we're talking about today, like Ryan Serhant would not have been in the place and the position where he is today if he wouldn't have been consistent. He had a period of time in his career where he uploaded his first YouTube video, and he thought that one bombed, because that's really the place where everyone starts. Everyone starts at zero, and the sooner you just make that happen and pull off the band-aid, like the sooner you're going to crush it as well. So rather than waiting, you just have to start being in the game, be in the arena, do your thing, apply these principles. And if you do it for a longer period of time, like it's just a matter of time until you will win as well. So this is very important, because if you do this just for a week or a month, like it's not going to give any results for you. You have to commit for doing this for months and years and even decades, depending on what you want and what goals you have in your life. And what happens as a consequence is, like, when you do this for a longer period of time, you're going to build trust, you're going to build familiarity. And if you're consistent, you will win, because you will learn, you will improve, you become better. But this is very important to know, because he would not have been where he is today if it wouldn't have been consistent, and he have been in the industry for a very long period of time, which gives him a lot of trust. So that is very important to know. And if we should really conclude this into, well, now you are very excited about applying some golden nuggets, and really make sure that you can apply the same principles as Ryan Serhant has done, but you do it for your career as a real estate agent, and you want to start getting more warm leads, you want to start crushing it and becoming the top of mind #1 agent in your area when it comes to social media presence. This is really what you have to do. So first off, you have to go from being unknown to known. So depending on how strong of a personal brand you already have, and my guess is that you don't have a super strong personal brand yet, because that's probably why you clicked on this video, because you want to build your brand as Serhant as well. So you really have to go from unknown to known. That is very important. And what do I mean by that? Well, you have to start putting yourself out there on social media, letting people in your area know that you exist, and start to slowly but surely build a deeper connection with them, which leads to you building trust with them over time. So first off, what you have to do is you have to pick 2 platforms. Very, very important, because if you look at Ryan Serhant, he's dominating, TikTok, Instagram, and all of these. But if you don't have any team, like you don't have that resources, and what every single person should do as a real estate agent, if they start from day one, they should pick 2 platforms. So you have to spend your time wisely here. So you pick one long form platform, and that should be, you recording a podcast. Do that every single week. That is the absolute highest leverage you can get when it comes to long form. And some people might be like, well, I don't like being on camera and stuff like that. Well, it's up to you. Like, do you want to lose out on leads? It's really your choice. But doing a long form podcast on YouTube is the smartest one, and then you put down on Spotify and Apple as well, of course, iTunes. So that is very important, and you do that every single week because that over time will build really like a deep connection with your potential clients, and it's the best way where you can showcase your expertise as well, and people really get to know you. To be honest, it's very, very powerful. Long form content is not to be forgotten. That's like, if you only could pick one, that's the one thing. And then you should pick one short form platform as well. My suggestions are Instagram or TikTok, and those are the most important ones. And what you really want to do here is that short form content is really going to gather exposure and eyeballs. And then you want to lead your potential clients from the short form into the long form, because that is really where the conversion is going to be made. Because short form is getting you attention and long form is getting you the conversion, which means you get them hooked in with the short form, and then you get leads by them consuming your long form content. Like, this is the most powerful thing. And you should post daily on short form, and you should post weekly on long form. That's really the game to be playing, and that's the way Ryan Serhant has done in order to build himself up a very, very strong presence. And when you have built that and you want to scale, of course you can hire a team and stuff as well, and then you can pick more platforms. But this is the baseline. If you just do this, you get the highest return on your investment spend. And as a conclusion, like, what's the absolute best benefits to wrap this up in a way? It's really what you will get from this is that you will get warmer leads, and that leads to you getting higher fees. So if you look at this, everything that Ryan Serhant understands as well is that the game of content and building your social media presence, in a way, whereas you should be doing that, is building a personal brand. So what I mean by that is really, using social media in the right way as a real estate agent. And what happens is that, if you put this very simply, like, first off, more people of your potential clients will know that you exist. So just by that alone, that is a big win. And then if you do it over a longer period of time, you will become top of mind and build trust with them. So, and it's just like this huge, great snowball effect where more people will see you, you build more trust with more people, and they, you become top of mind in their head. So that is very important, and it just becomes this huge snowball after time, and more people get into to your brand and in your world, so to say. And what happens with that as well is that when more people understand who you are and get to learn to know you and trust you, then those leads that will come to you will be warmer. So, forget getting cold leads, because they will be more warm. And what happens is that, of course, when you reach out to an agent that you have been following for 2 years, you have probably watched like 20 plus podcasts of that person, well, you're going to be able to charge a higher fee, because in their eyes, you are the number one, because you have given them so much value over such a long period of time that, like, you can charge what you're worth. So this is a really good place to be at. So you stop bathing in the ice cold bath and start to swim in the nice and comfortable ocean by the beach. So this is really the place you want to be at. And if you look at Ryan Serhant, like, he's swimming in this place, and it's very, very nice. Of course, he has his challenges as well, but if we are at the place where he is at, it's just a matter of what he want to achieve next. So this is really the way you should be using your brand, and this is the golden nuggets you can take from Ryan Serhant. So make sure to watch this video so you get a deeper understanding of why you're not the problem as a real estate agent, but the strategy you're currently using are.